What a majestic machine. Welcome to another beautiful morning out here at the river house. Look at that sun. Look at it. We're getting so close. Nice. So what we're out here today to do is I'd like to put that first 50 feet, at least 40 feet of the drain line in and then backfill so that we can get back across. That way if the blasting crew guys pop up on my radar and they're like, hey, tomorrow, well, we can get them in there. So that's the goal. I got just a little bit of bucket slop. I've got the little jackhammer out, and I'm going to use that to dig in the line up here at the beginning because you know, that hose is a little wild and I didn't want to break anything, so I held back from the edge. Noticed I got a bit of a sinkhole forming here. Don't like that. Held back from the edge, so I need to get down into there. Actually, I probably need to call the septic guy. I know that this is just a line that comes out and comes up so we can find it, but I can't remember if it's properly secured in the tank. I think the tank is just a rubber boot. And I have memories of them leveling and sloping this line coming out. I might call them the double check it so I don't have to dig the whole thing up. But I need to get down to the bottom of this and expose it so that we can make our connection off of it. And like I said, I have a clean out tee. I'll use this 90 to make the corner and a clean out tee. And yeah, look at that. Aerospace straight. Just what a majestic sight. To go with a majestic machine here on a majestic hill in a majestic morning at the river house. Alright, we're loose. In a very literal sense. It moves back, forth, up, down, right, left. I can't think of any way to confirm that everything is in there properly other than carefully digging up the third lid and removing it. Right. Is it big chamber, small chamber? I might be able to pull that one. I'll have to look. Other than if that lid doesn't cover it, it seems stupid to bury this without confirming it actually pokes in somewhere. All right. Then we can start laying out this professional aero straight system. Ooh. It's like a sniper. I made two tools to help with this next step in the process. This is what I'm going to use to level the hole and level the pipe. So we figure 1/4 inch per foot rise. So this is a 6 foot level. It's actually The level I inherited from my grandfather, my namesake. And I should just be able to put it fat end down, and when she reads level, we're level. And we just chug right along. And this big flat body, I'm hoping I can just grade the whole mess and get her done. But I also anticipate having to pack some soil. I'd like it a lot tighter than the floppy pipe I found coming out of the septic tank. So I made myself a handheld whacker packer. Yes, that's a piston out of the Army truck. It's also a good reminder of exactly why they needed rebuilt. Though, as bad as she looks, it's worth pointing out, it was still running. This one was a killer, but it still started and ran. It still started and ran. I only drove this one 20 miles like this, but this is probably the worst out of all the motors. My original plan had me pouring it full of lead or whatnot, but it turns out that's quite the slug of metal on its own. So I shaped this piece of wood to fit down inside where the rod went. It's tapered. It goes all the way down to the bottom. I then glued wedges and drove them in. Then I bored this hole out. This is an old replacement shovel handle, and I sort of made it. It was tapered, so I ground that taper off, and then I inserted a wedge in the bottom of that slit right there. And the wedge was maybe this long, and it stuck out about that far. It was glued up, and then when I drove the whole thing down, that wedge spread this against the wood. It really, really, really should have been aligned right here. But I can't think of everything. World's most expensive whacker packer. The goal was to have Shay use it. He'd have been thrilled. He doesn't even know about it yet. But he is just too sick. Mom vetoed coming out, so I am on my own. I'm in here recording this rather than out there because it's a bit breezy at the river house today, and these cameras got pretty susceptible microphones. We should be good to go. The next goal, go up there. I've decided I don't want to try to dig out the lid. I'm afraid I'm going to break it in the ice. So instead, I'm going to pop that elbow off, and I think if I get down on my hands and knees and shine a light through, I should see the inside of the tank. If there's a misalignment or something's come out of the boot or something like that, that should be very obvious, I would think. I would not see the inside of the tank. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm a little more concerned about the tip and the tilt because it's quite obvious that it's just not packed around that hose. But I have a memory of them adjusting their pipe. I also suspect that the 14 inches of pipe or whatnot, as long as it's vaguely downhill, it's going to be just perfectly fine. And the little turds will hit the end, and around they'll go. And if they don't, well, it's not like we only use this thing, you know, in a summer home. It's, if something gets left behind, it'll be taken care of in the next run. So I think it'll be fine. it's in. It's kicked a little more crooked because coming out of the tank, it's like that. I'm waiting for it to harden up, and then, I mean, it's a 20-footer. It wobbles around like a piece of spaghetti, so once it hardens up, it's that joint I worry about. Once it hardens up, I'll flex it over. But, yeah, we are dead on the 1/4 inch per foot drop, which is exactly what Montana state standards require. So we should be good. I got a little dirt in it, I'll have to fish that out, but we should be good. Again, I'm just going to move it over, but I don't want to touch it right now. I want to give it it's cold, I want to give it a few minutes. So I'll flex it over slightly. I mean, obviously I don't have to, because this ditch, I mean, the Incas would put a sun at the top of this thing because this thing is accurate enough to tell time from the stars. But, you know, manufacturing defects. Oh, look, I got like Krusty the Crown fluffies. Cool. Hey, babe. Anyways, we'll flex it and I'll keep going. I thought I was about 1 inch, 2 inches too deep. It turns out I'm 1 inch, 2 inches too shallow. So it's a fair bit of work, and I know that grading the whole ditch flat isn't necessary, but I'm doing what I know how to do. So I want it to shoot with gusto down there, and then I can probably use that as a camper drain. This way, if something happened right here, you can gain access to it and get a snake in there. I'm sure there's like 90-degree corners with cleanouts built into them. And I know that there are longer 90s, like build one out of 45s like they did, but it wasn't that much different. This is what I can get here. This is what our hardware store described as a sweep. I know there are longer sweeps. Poo is flexible. That's within code, and we're just going to keep going, even if there is a slightly better fitting for the use. Well, first 40 feet. A little surprised and disappointed with myself at how much it's kicked my ass, but it's sloped correctly and it's now hammered down into place. Of course, if you're doing this for yourself, your rules might be different. We here only have inspections for the drain field and the tank, that installation, and we've already had that. From that point on, they sort of feel like if I put a big whoop in this pipe and it plugs, that's my fault. That's my problem. You know, and I guess there's also issues of quality of installation, but this is installed fine. It might not be perfectly straight, but it's fine. There'll be no inherent leaks, no inherent points of failure. I got runoff water trickling in over there. Not a super big fan of that, but it'll be fine too. Yeah, I gotta curl the end again. I don't know why. It's arrow straight. Must have been bent pipe. Gotta curl that end, but that'll be no big deal. The only problems I have, you know, I'm gonna wanna stack a crap ton of weight over here. Part of the issue is, you know, if you're packing, you don't want to pack down and lift your pipe. So you really want to stand on it. Make sure you got weight setting on it, then pack down in, you know, some weight to hold it down so you don't accidentally lift it. I'm very confident I didn't lift it. So my slope is probably coming out to be, oh, just a little over a quarter, if I'm honest. We're just a whisper over a quarter per foot. So. But I told my family I wouldn't be out here that long. We're after we're after 2. Of course, I tell them a lot, don't I? This time I had a built-in alarm clock. I didn't bring a lunch, so there's a rumbly in my tumbly, and I think we're probably going to call it quits for today. Look at that. Look at that. The light line is starting to cross over. The sun is right over that ridge right there. We are days from having direct sunlight again. This reflected light off the hillside is nice, and what makes this place livable. But it'd be nice to get to see that big, beautiful golden orb once more. But other than that, I think we're done for the day. So, hey, good luck on whatever you're building. Thanks for watching.